Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Missy Lane's Book Nook. Today on Missy Lane's Book Nook, we're going to celebrate Valentine's Day because it's February, and February is the month of love. A lot of the books that I chose for today center around love and friendship. Let's start with our first book called Elephantastic. Elephantastic is written by Michael Engler. Andrew, I'm going out onto the balcony, called Mommy. Can you take the package in the hallway to our neighbors upstairs? Sure, said Andrew, but he wasn't really listening. He was busy drawing a treasure map, which was much more important. It could come in handy someday. It wasn't until he finished the map that he remembered that Mommy had asked him to do something. But what had it been? Mommy, he called out, and he went into the hallway. When he got there, he discovered a huge box. A package? He thought. It must be for me. So that's what Mommy said. Andrew lifted the package. It wasn't heavy at all. What could be inside? He wondered. Carefully, he began to open the box. Now, is that what his mommy told him to do? Did she say, open the box, Andrew, if there's a package for you? No, he was supposed to take the package to the neighbors, remember? He wasn't paying attention. An elephant, he cried. Sure enough, a big gray stuffed elephant popped its head out of the box. Andrew had always wanted one just like it. Hello, said the elephant. My name is Timbo. It's a talking elephant? Really? A talking elephant? Andrew could hardly believe his luck. He carried Timbo to his room, and then he ran to the kitchen to get lemonade and cookies. He sat down on the bed and asked Timbo to tell him all about his adventures in Africa. The elephant closed his eyes and began. He told of savannas and deserts so huge that only elephants could cross them. He told of jungles so dark and deep that only elephants dared to venture in them. He told of snow-capped Mount Kilimanjaro, so high only elephants could climb it. He told of lions roaring at dusk, sound that struck fear into all the animals, all except for the elephants. Andrew listened so closely that his heart began to beat faster and faster. He could hardly stand it. It was time for him to have those kinds of adventures too. And so Andrew and Timbo climbed to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. Are they really climbing a mountain? No. I think he just has a really good imagination, doesn't he, boys and girls? He's climbing in his bedroom. He better be careful. He's climbing onto his desk and then onto his dresser, and he's pretending that he's climbing a mountain. They scrambled and clambered to catch their breaths. It's so windy up here, shouted Andrew. Then they tumbled down into the sun-parched valley below, and they danced a lively rain dance. They skipped and jumped and spun around. This is fun, Andrew said. Next, they traveled to where the wild lions lived. They tiptoed and lurked and scurried by. How exciting, whispered Andrew. They hiked through vast savannas and into the dense, dark jungle. They crawled and crept and swung. Andrew looked into the wild forest beyond and thought, this is elephantastic. Suddenly, Andrew heard a voice. What are you doing under the bed? Asked Mommy. I'm playing with the elephant from the package. He can talk, said Andrew. Oh, no, sighed his mommy. That package was delivered for Louise. But I thought it was for me, cried Andrew. I'm afraid not. Come on, let's bring it to her together. Oh, no. Now he has to return Timbo. He has to give it to his neighbor. That's who it was for the whole time. The climb upstairs never felt harder. Andrew squeezed Timbo tight. He followed his mommy reluctantly, step by step. At the top of the stairs, he rang the bell and hoped no one would answer. but he heard footsteps anyway. And a moment later, Louise opened the door. "Hello, Andrew," she said. Before Andrew could say anything, Louise saw the box and the stuffed animal in his hands. "At last! My birthday present from Grandma and Grandpa! It's here!" she exclaimed, taking Timbo from Andrew. Andrew turned quickly and ran down the stairs, his eyes filling with tears. He's really sad. It's hard to give Timbo away after the fun day that they had together, isn't it? At dinner, Andrew was very quiet. Teardrops fell onto his slice of buttered bread. "Oh, sweetheart," said Mommy softly, "it's only a stuffed elephant." "It's not just a stuffed elephant," cried Andrew. "His name is Timbo, and he talked to me," sniffled Andrew. Mommy shook her head. "But Andrew, stuffed animals don't." Just then, the doorbell rang. It was Louise with Timbo in her arms. She held the elephant up to Andrew and whispered, "Timbo says he misses you." Andrew's heart leapt. He hugged Timbo as tightly as he could, and then he looked at Louise and he asked, "Do you want to go on an adventure?" Louise smiled and said, "That would be elephantastic." And there they are having an adventure together with Timbo the elephant. The end. What do you think, boys and girls? Did Timbo really talk? Could it be? Or did they just have super imaginations? Yeah, I think so. All right. Well, boys and girls, I'm going to teach you a new elephant rhyme, and I'm going to put 5 elephants on my fingers. While I'm taping these elephants to my fingers, you can put your 5 fingers up in the air. Can you do that? And then, boys and girls, just show me one. So make a fist and just put one finger up. We're going to count one at a time. Ready? One elephant went out to play up on a spider web one day. He had such enormous fun. He called for another elephant to come. Help me call. "Oh, elephant!" 2 elephants went out to play up on a spider's web one day. They had such enormous fun. They called for another elephant to come. "Oh, elephant!" 3 elephants went out to play up on a spider's web one day. They had such enormous fun. They called for another elephant to come. I need your help calling. "Oh, elephant!" Let's do it this way. 4 elephants went out to play up on a spider's web one day. They had such enormous fun. They called for another elephant to come. "Oh, elephant!" 5 elephants went out to play up on a spider's web one day. The web went creak, the web went crack, and all of the elephants went ker-splat. Oh no! Definitely too heavy for a spider's web, right? Look how scared that spider looks. He doesn't want those elephants falling on him. And that's my 5 little elephants went out to play song. Special thanks to Miss Jackie who drew the spider on my hand today. All right, boys and girls, so let's get ready for our second story. In Elephantastic, Andrew made friends with Julia, and together they were friends with Timbo, right? Well, in this story, we meet Felix and Reuben, who are the best of friends too. They get along so well. They love to do things together, especially blow bubbles. And everything is great until one day they get into a fight. And that happens sometimes, boys and girls, doesn't it? We might have an argument with our best friend, with a schoolmate, or with our brother or our sister. And that's okay, that's gonna happen. But I think it's really important to remember that we should always do what? We should always say we're sorry and make sure we make up at the end. So let's find out what happens to Felix and Reuben when they have their argument. Let's find out if they make up. It's called Bubble Trouble. And this one is by Tom Percival. Reuben and Felix had always lived next door to each other. They were exactly the same age, exactly the same height, except for the ears, and they were both left-handed. They also had something else in common. Reuben and Felix loved to blow bubbles. All sorts of bubbles, but mostly they liked to blow really, really big bubbles. It was their favorite thing to do, and they always did it together. Until one day, Reuben said, "I bet I could blow a bigger bubble than you." And that was how the contest started. It was quite friendly at first. "Hey, that's a good idea." I'm not sure if that's allowed. But as their machines became more complicated, the game became less fun. Look, they each want to make the biggest bubble, so they built a machine to help them. And that's when the trouble started. "My bubbles are the biggest." "No, my bubbles are the biggest." "No, mine." "No, mine." What Reuben and Felix needed were some clear rules. So they appointed a group of judges. Now they would be able to determine exactly who could blow the biggest bubbles. At last, the competition was official. Crowds flocked from miles around to see Reuben and Felix's sensational bubble-blowing machines. Look at those contraptions. They really worked hard on it, didn't they? And it seems to be working because I see lots of bubbles. Whose are the biggest? The bubbles that they blew were huge, bright, and wondrous. Each one was bigger than the last. They were bigger than a bear, bigger than a tree. They were bigger than a house. Wow. But all Reuben and Felix could think about was winning. Instead of just trying to blow their own bubbles, they also came up with ingenious ways to cheat. Uh-oh. Is cheating ever a good idea, boys and girls at home? No, never a good idea. And what was their idea, their cheating idea? Let's see. One of them was going to bring hedgehogs, because hedgehogs are like little porcupines, sort of. They have prickly needles. So I think his idea was, if I bring these hedgehogs, then their needles will pop all of Reuben's bubbles. And then Reuben had the idea to get a box full of bees, hoping that the bees would sting and pop Felix's bubbles. Right? Yeah, well, you know what? It didn't always work anyway. Looked like the hedgehogs fell asleep, and the bees really don't seem to care. But Reuben and Felix refused to give up. And the next morning, they both felt convinced that they would finally win, until they turned on their bubble-blowing machines, and there was a clanking and a creaking and a grinding and a growing, followed by a very loud bang! Uh-oh. What happened? Their machines exploded. They blew up. Now Reuben and Felix realized just how silly they had been. They didn't need all that complicated machinery. All they needed was a little bit of help. So they gathered everyone together. And on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, they all began to blow. Boys and girls at home, will you help me? We'll blow together. Ready? I'll count to 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Suddenly the bubble grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew, until together they had blown the biggest bubble in the world. Everything was back as it should be. Reuben and Felix were best friends again. Yippee! And nothing was ever going to change that. Until Felix said, "I bet I can jump higher than you." Oh no. I hope it doesn't start all over again and they have to have a jumping contest. I hope not. I think Felix and Reuben learned a valuable lesson, right? Winning always isn't the most important thing. What matters is that you have fun and that you work together. And I'm glad Felix and Reuben made up in the end and they became best friends again. And boys and girls, can you believe it? Our blowing worked too, because there's bubbles everywhere in Missy Lane's book nook. Oh my goodness. Wow. That was pretty magical. All right, boys and girls, now we're going to learn a song called the Valentine's Day Song. And we're going to spell out the word heart. Do you know how to spell heart? H-E-A-R-T. We're going to spell it out in the following song.
I made a valentine for you. The heart shape says I love you. H-E-A-R-T, H-E-A-R-T, H-E-A-R-T. The heart shape says I love you. All right, now let's clap instead of using the letter H. I made a valentine for you. The heart shape says I love you. E-A-R-T, E-A-R-T, E-A-R-T. The heart shape says I love you. All right, now let's clap for the first two letters. Are you ready? I made a valentine for you. The heart shape says I love you. A-R-T, A-R-T, A-R-T. The heart shape says I love you. I knew you'd get it. Now let's clap for the first three letters. I made a valentine for you. The heart shape says I love you. R-T, R-T, R-T. The heart shape says I love you. All right, you got it. Now let's clap for the first four letters. I made a valentine for you. The heart shape says I love you. T, T, T. The heart shape says I love you. Now all we have to do is clap once for each letter. Are you ready? Well, I made a valentine for you. The heart shape says I love you. The heart shape says I love you. Great job! Okay, now to finish it off, let's sing all the letters. I made a valentine for you. The heart shape says I love you. H-E-A-R-T, H-E-A-R-T, H-E-A-R-T. The heart shape says I love you.
All right, boys and girls, now it's time for our final book today, and it's one of my very favorites ever. It's perfect for Valentine's Day, where we're talking about love and friendship. This book is called You're Never Too Little to Love. This is Tiny Too Little. He loves somebody. But she's way up there, and that's a long, long way if you're tiny and you really want a kiss. He tries to reach her, but he's far too little, even on tiptoes, on a thimble. too little, even on tiptoes, on a matchbox on a thimble. He's too little, even on tiptoes, on a watermelon on a matchbox on a thimble. He's really trying to reach her, huh? He's trying everything. Tiny Too Little better be careful. He's too little, even on tiptoes, on a teacup, on a watermelon, on a matchbox, on a thimble. He's too little, even on tiptoes, on a cabbage, on a teacup, on a watermelon, on a matchbox, on a thimble. Is he ever going to reach her? I'm beginning to wonder. He's too little, even on tiptoes, on a candle, on a cabbage, on a teacup, on a watermelon, on a matchbox, on a thimble. He's too little, even on tiptoes, on a clock, on a candle, on a cabbage, on a teacup, on a watermelon, on a matchbox, on a thimble. Phew. How much higher can he go? He's too little, even on tiptoes, on a cupcake, on a clock, on a candle, on a cabbage, on a teacup, on a watermelon, on a matchbox, on a thimble. He's too little, even on tiptoes, on stilts, on a cupcake, on a clock, on a candle, on a cabbage, on a teacup, on a watermelon, on a matchbox, on a thimble. Be careful, Tiny Too Little. Tiny Too Little reaches way up. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Oh no, I'm afraid to turn the page. You know what's going to happen. Wobble, crash. Oh, there goes Tiny Too Little. And everything goes flying everywhere. Poor Tiny Too Little. Topsy Too Tall sees Tiny Too Little. She loves him, but he's way down there. And it's a long way down if you're tall. But it's an even longer way up if you're tiny. Oh, he was trying to reach the giraffe. She bends down and gives him a great big kiss. Mwah. Aww. Which just goes to show that even if you're tiny, you're never too little to love. The end. The Mouse and the Giraffe. Wasn't that a sweet story? Boys and girls, I'm going to show you how you can make a mouse Valentine. Here's my little mouse. And I didn't write a message on it yet, but I could write Happy Valentine's Day, right? I can sign my name maybe on the other side. And I want to show you how I made this cute little mouse. I took a piece of gray paper, and if you didn't have gray construction paper, you could use white and just color it with a gray crayon, right? Or maybe you don't want your mouse to be gray. Your mouse can really be any color you want. But I'm going to use gray. And I'm going to cut a heart shape. And boys and girls, if you weren't too confident that you could do a heart shape on your own, why then you could draw it first, right? Because I know you know how to make a heart shape. When you draw it on the paper, I forgot to show you that I folded the paper. So when you draw it on folded paper, you only have to draw half of the heart, okay? So I drew half of my heart, one side. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut that heart out. So I'm going to cut right on the line. Just like so. And this is going to be my mouse's body. Then I'm going to take another piece of paper, pink if I have it, white if I don't, because I can always use my pink crayon. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut out a heart shape. I'm going to fold the paper first, and I'm going to this time draw a little heart, a little baby heart. So maybe this one's just about this big. And remember, I only drew half. I drew one side of the heart. Then I'm going to cut that baby heart out. And can you guess what part of the mouse that little heart's going to be? What is this little heart going to make on the mouse's body? Here's my teeny tiny heart. But I'm actually going to keep it folded. And I'll tell you, boys and girls, the heart, the little heart, makes the mouse's ears. Oops, where'd my mouse? Oh, there's my mouse. So you can glue his ears or staple or tape his ears right there to the top, anywhere you want. Mouse's ears usually stick up, so right about there. Okay, you can draw on your eye. And then what do you think I used for the tail? Can you guess? I just used a piece of yarn. You got it. I seem to have, oh, here it is. Nope, I seem to have lost my other piece of yarn. So you can take a piece of yarn or string or whatever you have at home to make the mouse's tail. And there you have it. You made your own mouse Valentine. Well, boys and girls, I hope you know how much I love you, and I love reading to you every month on Miss Elaine's Book Nook. We're going to end today with a song called Skinnamarink, and I know you know it. And it was so much fun to blow those bubbles, but you know what else it's fun to do? You know what else we can blow? A kiss. Can you blow a kiss to me, and I'll blow one back to you? Ready? 1, 2, 3. There it goes through TV land and right to you. Let's sing our Skinnamarink song and blow a kiss at the end. Skinnamarinky-dinky-dink, skinnamarinky-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skinnamarinky-dinky-dink, skinnamarinky-doo. I love you too. Boop, boop, be doo. Mwah. Good job. Well, I had so much fun today with you, boys and girls, and I will see you next month. We're ending today's show with another song. This one's called the I Love You song.
I love you, your button nose, your eyes, your ears, your knees, your toes.
I love you up to the sky, past the moon and stars so high.
If you feel alone and scared, always know that I'll be there.
Just like 1 and 1 make 2, you love me and I love you.
I love you in every way, all you do and all you say.
My love for you will always be deeper than the deep blue sea.
Even if you're sad or blue, it's okay 'cause I love you.
Just like 1 and 1 make 2, you love me and I love you.
I love you, your button nose, your eyes, your ears, your knees, your toes.
I love you up to the sky, past the moon and stars so high.
If you feel alone and scared, always know that I'll be there.
Just like 1 and 1 make 2,
You love me